Each morning we get up and we have problems to solve, and we get paid for our daily labor. And this man up here on my hat, he gets up and goes to his fields or his job every day, not knowing what every 24 hours is going to bring his way. One hell of a job. It's just a never-ending crisis. Now, let's look at how much rain we had down here. The gauge is a little crooked. There's right at 2.5 inches of rain. Being that I got kicked over, it could have been, I'd say it was close to, well, it's 2.5 in there. So it wouldn't surprise me if there was 3.5. We'll walk up here and see what condition our efforts were in life of trying to put seed to ground. And no matter how dismal they may be or disarray, it can't be any more than what this man has to go through every morning when he wakes up, if he even goes to sleep. That's one hell of a job I wouldn't want. Ain't no way. Because everything you do, you got 50% yay in you and 50% nay in you. So, what a troubled time. Let's go look at the crops. Oh, here it is, the 30th day of May. And we've tilled this field up and planted it right at 30 days ago. And you can see the corn growth. It's doing pretty good, but it's a little wet. I was going to spray today, but the conditions are definitely not good. We've had 3.5 inches of rain down here. But you notice our rows were straight and the planter was planting. And that's always a good thing to see. But like I say, you look down here at my boots, you can see how much mud's on it. And we had a good drying day yesterday, but it needs quite a few more because I'm tracking up in there as I walk. But there you can. There's your fall, late fall food plot source. I know it doesn't have any value during the summer other than to the raccoons, so but for all in all, it come out pretty good. But you couldn't run a cultivator in this, and I don't want to try to run the sprayer on it because the tires would just fill up with mud. But I just thought I'd give you a little update on a month later from the time we were up here. So we had a few clumps of grass. It don't take long to pull that stuff out. My only wish for mankind is, in these trying times here in the United States, I wish all people had the opportunity to grow something other than to raise hell and be destructive. I come up as poor can be. 5 kids, 3-room shack, you name it, I've talked about it before. I never did feel discriminated against or underprivileged. I put these to work. And people were always willing to hire me, and not because of my color, it's because I went to work. Well, I only wish is that what's going on in some of the cities today, they could use that kind of energy out here in a cornfield in Iowa. They would be rewarded in so many ways. But I guess that's just mankind. And I'll leave it at that. Here was another dusting bowl the turkeys moved to, apparently. Yeah, that's amazing. See how dry that dirt is? I could spray if it was that dry, but I'm going to have to give it another day. Now here's our beans, and we planted these sporadically, and but we did plant them with the planter, and they all germinated. And what I planted these beans for was for a summertime browsing, if the deer wanted to come out and eat the tops off, that's fine. Because my intention is I'll come back in the fall and tear that out and replant it. Depends on how much they devastated. Last year they really put the hurt on it. But you can see how it double rolled it. It was like drilling it. And I need to get it sprayed, but there again, it's too wet to spray. But definitely have to spray this. This is about like broadcasting it. But it did grow better being drilled in, even though it's not the rows. But like I said, this is temporary, because I will come in and later in August or July and start tilling this up what doesn't get cropped off. If they don't crop it off too bad, I'll leave it. But some of them, but there's definitely going to be a Baraska type forage also put in here. So as you can see, the rows were all ziggity zaggedy, and but that was my intention. I didn't know how it would come out, but we got some beans in there. I just want to show you what my attempt was, and that's for you guys that got planters but don't have drills. And this worked pretty good for what I wanted to do. You notice I straddled the rows somewhat, and I got, well, that's 12 inches, about 12, 13 inches between those rows right in there. And that really came out good because I drilled them in and there was no erosion. They didn't get washed off, and they really came out pretty good. So it's just something, it was an experiment on my part. It was sort of half-assed, but then again, if you don't start out somewhere, you're never going to get started. And as I turn around, you can see where the planter was planting, and it got really squirrely up there because I lost track of the center of the row. But the nice thing about it, like I said, in this area, I can come back in, and what beans don't grow, I'll overseed with a Baraska of some sort. But trying to offset that, just going in between the rows and all over with the planter, it actually worked better than broadcasting them on by hand. Yeah, we got some small velvet leaf coming on. That's normal. You know, if I would have had time to put my herbicide on prior to the planting, those rows would be bare. But planting food plots, you're doing it as a hobby, and sometimes time element, you just don't have the time to, you know, let it get rained in and then come back and plant it. But we'll get the herbicide on, and that'll take care of them. Them button weeds, velvet leaf, they're not very tall. And the corn is doing real good. We're supposed to get some 80, 90, 80, high 80s, and it'll really take off. This area right here is interesting, and it's a learning curve. This is where I had conceal planted, and some of that stuff must have went to seed, because when I tilled it under, boy oh boy did it take off. I mean, you can see the corn in there, but I say this whole strip right here along this fence row was conceal, and we mowed it and then we plowed it under, but boy, it really put the seed in the ground. So it's just along there where we planted it at. So keep in mind, if you do go with conceal the following year, you can have some residual carryover from the seed that it produced. But we'll handle it. June 5th. We're down here on the clover field. Beautiful stand of clover. And I gotta show you why you have to walk those fields. And mowing is not it can be a deadly thing. Let's walk up here. I was pulling some broadleafs out of here this morning, and God put me on the path to this. It's 12 inches of clover and a baby buried in there, right there. And the about, I believe it was 8:30. It's a Friday the 5th of June. So you find something like that, you leave it alone. Go back out of here. Okay, you don't want to be mowing your clover plots, because if I hadn't walked in here, the only thing I wished I'd had my little grandson with me, so I could have showed him that. But I thought I'd show you that, because I mowed that clover, and it's really tall again. And I'm going to hand pull, like, see, this is what I was doing. You can get this weed, pull that out, get over here to this clump of grass. Get the clump of grass. Yeah, I didn't get the whole root ball. But it's pretty easy to do. But you really got to be careful. I'm going to try to get this out of here. There ain't no use of having it growing anymore. But you got to watch out for babies, that's for sure. Yeah, a beautiful stand of Whitetail Institute Fusion. And I've noticed I got some help going on here. Those elm trees, that group there, it died. And now that lets more sunlight in here also. Those ones in the back also over there died. That's the nature of those elm trees. So they're like a dead man walking. But they do make a bug tree. And they are some firewood. But that's nice that they died. Now that took the water consumption. They're not drawing any more water out of here. And they also are not shading out anymore. So the sunlight gets in there a little more. So even though the tree died, other things sacrificed from it. Here's that area that we frost seeded some clover. And you can see the clover grew in good, but the grasses did too. And like I say, this was a plot that I intend on taking out this fall. But I want to just show you, remember when we just came in here and we frost seeded it with clover, and it was eaten to the ground, and we just threw some clover on there and didn't do a whole lot. That clover right there is 11 inches tall, and we like I say, we came in here and just put some clover on the, I think we had wintergreens in here, and they were consumed. And we came in and just broadcasted clover. Now, if a guy wanted to, you could get really aggressive with your arrest and start killing these grasses out. And if you want really to, it'd be a lot of back labor. There's a lot of clumps there to pull out. But then again, an inch is a cinch. You can do a mile with a smile if you took it up on yourself. But mowing this would get rid of that grass too. But we just seen a negative about mowing right now. So you definitely have to walk the ground before you even considered mowing, because babies could be laying out in here also. Venture up here, you can see where a deer is bedded down in that clover last night. And I gotta get the herbicide on this to get spot this grass out. But boy, I'll tell you what, trying to get everything done. We mowed this with the little blue tractor. Yeah, I gotta get my backpack sprayer on. And hopefully tomorrow morning I can get out here and spot spray these clumps of grass. We'll go over a makeshift bridge, And I can make a Missouri crossing right here really easy just by regrading these slopes. And I'll probably do that this summer. But those planks and stuff work well to get the little tractor across there. It's almost tropical walking through the woods this morning. We had some rain down here last night, more in other places. And we were on the thin side of it per se. But, and you can see how fast that grass grew where we overseeded, or frost seeded that clover. But what I'm trying to make a point is the clover did germinate. And, but my intentions still are to turn this under and put a different annual in it. So I want to keep this, I'll walk this, make sure when I mow it, I don't want the vegetation to get overly godly high. So, but it grew clover, and that clover wasn't there until we broadcasted it on. And going up here to get my camera, I had to leave it there. The ants, oh, and they're still there too. Man, they really attacked that stuff. Must be an ant house. You can see them crawling all over there. There was thousands of them in there. That's a bad thing about having a camera out during the summertime. They set up house. Yeah, summertime. Ants, wood ticks, pollinators, you name it. But carry that up and spray it. Maybe got ants crawling all over you. Yeah, this field here I'm really proud of. It, I believe it was planted in 2018, and it had its moments, but it did well. But I'll say though, you can see more. Here's where the mama deer must have bedded. The big bed there. Another bed. And there's babies laying over there. Oh, here's another bed. So they did a lot of bedding down in there, that's for sure. You can see how deep that clover is, just me walking through it. It's just, well, there's your boot. Now keep in mind, this is what I want to emphasize. This is for people that want to plant a food plot and want maximum results. You cannot go wrong with a perennial, because there are some quirks about it, the maintenance and stuff of it. But like I said, this was eaten to the ground during the winter. When we came in here this spring, it was done. When you look across the clover plot like that, and that don't happen by itself. A lot of labor, a little bit of monetary cost, but boy, it's sure worth it at the end of the day. And you talk about social distancing, you don't have your deer coming to a tree stump digging a hole in the ground, because they have that whole area to graze upon. So they're not drinking out of the same bottle of pop day after day. They actually practice social distancing in the real world. There we go. You can see the butterflies flying. You got clovers. You got pollinator habitat. It's not about killing as much as it is about enhancing the overall value of the land for all creatures, from the bees to, I would say, the pollinators. And we walk up through here, they're out and about, and that's a good thing. lightning bugs will be out pretty soon. And this here area up here, I try not to mow because it has these daisies in here. And boy, I'll tell you what, when they get going, the monarch butterflies and everything just flock in here because they have something to pollinate, something they can utilize in their lifestyle. So if you have these, just don't mow them down. There's plenty of time to do the mowing, but leave them for, like I say, the butterflies, the moths. They're just all over in here, and that's a good sign of a healthy overall environment. And if you're going to mow, make sure you do walk where you're mowing, because who knows, you could kill a buck or doe inadvertently and it would just go to waste, because those mowers, they'll have ground venison, and that's not how you want it.